Before you even touch a 2 or 3K loan, let me tell you what almost ruined my renovation. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this. Mistake number one, we didn't understand the 2 or 3K consultant's job. But HUD is very clear. They're supposed to guide the process for the homeowner, not the contractor. Ours had ties to our general contractor, and that's a big red flag and a conflict of interest. Now, I always like to back up my statements with facts, and here is straight out of the HUD handbook for the 2 or 3K mortgage. It clearly states that the consultant is to have no affiliation with several people. Right here it says contractor, subcontractor, mortgagee, real estate person, or agent appraiser. So, this is how it's supposed to work. When you decide to get your home renovated, a consultant is first supposed to come to your home and write up a feasibility report, basically stating all the deficiencies that are wrong in the house, right? Then, after the consultant leaves, you're supposed to find a general contractor that comes in behind him and they conduct or develop an estimate stating everything that they're going to fix. This estimate then goes to the consultant, and the consultant reviews the estimate to make sure that it's in line with everything HUD says must be completed or fixed in order for the mortgage to get approved. Now, when the consultant is the general contractor, no one's looking out for the homeowner. And what happens is when the consultant checks the general contractor work, there's nothing wrong because it does not benefit the consultant to say the general contractor is messing up. So that's why you have to understand who the key players are when you're dealing with the 2 or 3K loan. Most homeowners don't even know this exists, but the 2 or 3K consultant is supposed to give you a written agreement that outlines all their services and their fees. Asking for this up front shows that you're well informed and that you mean business, so don't forget to do it. Mistake number two, our house sat unfinished for weeks. Our contractor kept disappearing. One week, they'll start on drywall, then disappear to finish someone else's job across town. We were constantly in limbo. No updates, no progress, just delay after delay. Meanwhile, we were blowing past the deadline HUD gives us for 2 or 3K renovations. For standard 2 or 3K renovation, you're supposed to finish the job between 6 to 12 months. Our lender noticed the delays and issued us a formal warning. We had to sign a memorandum acknowledging the risk of default, even though the delays weren't even our fault. Mistake number three, missing benefits. Not knowing about mortgage payment relief during renovations. Mistake number three is a huge one for me because when I did my 2 or 3K standard loan, I did it with the intent to do a whole house renovation at the same time, which means we had to move out, which means we had to pay rent at the location we moved to, as well as paying rent at our current home. It was a challenge, as you know, paying 2 mortgages, 2 sets of utilities, taking care of 2 properties, cutting the grass was a challenge. Now, the solution to this is to tell your lender upfront that, hey, I want to include 12 months of my mortgage into my 2 or 3K loan. If they come back and they say, no, you can't do that, it's not really allowed, you can do it first off. What you should do is escalate your question or your concern to someone higher than the person that is in charge of your 2 or 3K loan. Sometimes they're not well informed of all the rules and the regulations. And if you escalate it, they'll do some research and normally you will figure out that this is in fact something that HUD allows, and then you'll probably get it. But save yourself some money. I mean, you're kind of not really saving yourself some money. You're still paying for it, but you're not paying for it at the same time. So keep that in mind. Mistake number four is not having any drawings or specifications to give to your general contractor when you're going through your renovation. You may not think this is a big deal, but look at it this way. If you were to go to a commercial construction site, let's say for P&G or for any of your Fortune 500 companies, you're going to see drawings, you're going to see specifications that the general contractor and all the subcontractors are referencing so that they can get the work done right. Now, why would it be any different for a residential job? The answer is it should not be. When you fail to have drawings and specifications for your home, you're basically giving the general contractor space to do whatever they want. And it's not their home, it's your home. You want to convey your ideas and how you see yourself living in that home. But if you don't do it with drawings and specifications, then you're not going to get what you want. So it was a big mistake that we almost made. We kind of turned it around in the end, and I'm going to give you some tips to not do the same thing. So here's the solution to mistake number 4. You simply create your own drawings and your own specifications. It's the cheapest way to do it. You can simply do it 3 ways, and this is how we did it. 1, you can create a vision board, display board. So what you do is you take a board, you can do it on your computer, and then you go through each room and you click pictures of the paint you want, the vanity mirror you want, the fans you want, the tile you want. You send pictures of the kitchen layout that you like. You do all those things, you collect them, and you put it together on one sheet to give the general contractor an idea of what they should be doing. That's one way. The second way is you can use a lot of the tools that companies like IKEA or Home Depot have. You can go in there and you can design your own kitchen, the layout, where you want your cabinets to go, as long as you put your dimensions in there. And that's the second way to do it. The third way you can do it is you can go to an architectural drawing website and you can look at the plans and you can kind of get ideas of what you want. You can also buy plans and kind of get someone to modify it, which would be cheaper than having an architect start from scratch. And that's what we did. We had our vision board together. We took some pictures, color coordination. We made it very clear of what we wanted the finished product to look like. And that was the cheapest way to do it. Here's something I didn't know until it was too late. If you need architectural drawings, permits, plans, or even professional kitchen layouts, those fees can actually be rolled into your 2 or 3K loan. HUD specifically allows for architecture and engineering costs, as long as they are reasonable and listed in your work write-up. We could have saved a lot of time by doing this, but we didn't realize the costs were covered, so don't make the same mistake. Okay, I want you guys to remember that you have leverage and use it. Every time a contractor requests payment, they're asking for you to confirm that the work is done and it's done right. You have to sign off on each draw, and that signature is your leverage. If the work isn't complete, if it's not to code, or if it doesn't match the scope or your drawings or your vision board, then don't sign it. That is how you're going to protect yourself during this renovation. You can also use your consultant. They are there to help you out. Looking back, it's a couple of things that I would have done differently. I would have demanded a consultant who actually worked for me and not the GC. I'll get every single thing in writing, from my drawings to my timelines, and I'll never, ever, ever sign a draw release just to keep things moving along. And I'll absolutely ask for mortgage relief because that was a pain in my butt. So if you're thinking about a 2 or 3K loan, let's talk. I'll help you do it right from day one, and you don't have to make my mistakes. I got your back.